The 2022 Miami Dolphins sit atop the AFC East. They're 7-3, and they look unstoppable on offense. But my gut tells me they're not so much. My gut tells me, and my brain tells me, the Miami Dolphins are fool's gold. And I'm going to break it down. To start out, let's look at the Miami Dolphins at the surface. They're 7-3, they lead the AFC East. They have some wins over teams that are over 500. They have some losses to teams over 500. And they just have unimpressive wins, in my opinion, in general. Start out week 1 against New England Patriots. They won 20-7. A Patriots team that's completely different now than they were at the start of the year, but it's a good, fine win. Week 2, comeback victory against the Ravens. Ravens weren't that impressive defensively in that game, and they weren't that impressive defensively early in the season. But still, good comeback win. Week 3 against the Bills. You could argue the Dolphins got lucky, but that's their best win. They beat the best team in the NFL. Maybe it took luck to beat them, but they still beat them. Week 4, we don't have to go into big details about the Tua injury. That's been talked to death. My thoughts are pretty simple. They're going to lose to the Bengals no matter what. Week 5 against the Jets. They got blown out, but Teddy Bridgewater was the starting quarterback for them. Week 6, 8-point loss to the Vikings. Teddy Bridgewater was the starter again, and Skylar Thompson had to play some. Week 7, Tua comes back. You beat the Steelers by 6 points, but you only score 16 points against a battered, injured defense. Week 8, the Lions. You put up 31 points against the Lions. Hey, that's a bad defense. You should. And you only beat them by 4 points. The Bears, a team that was struggling to the point, and they figured it out recently, but they were still struggling entering that game. They allowed 32 points to them. They only beat them by 3 points. And then they just blew out the Browns this past week. With what I'm saying is, and this isn't the Dolphins' fault, they haven't played anyone really good in a while since Tua's been back. They played some bad teams that are struggling, and they beat them, which is very important. You need to beat the teams on your schedule. No matter if they're good, bad, or mediocre, they need to be beat. But they haven't looked good in 3 of the 4 games they beat those bad teams. Okay, now that we talked about their surface value, let's dig a little deeper. Let's talk about the man of the hour, Tua. Now, he's had a better year overall than he had in his previous 2 years in the NFL. Highest completion percentage of his career, averaging almost a 71% completion percentage, which is great. Average yards a target is 9. He's getting the ball downfield more. So why is this a big thing? Well, it's simple. He's putting the ball downfield, he's accurate with it, and he has only thrown 3 interceptions to 18 touchdowns. Those are great numbers for Tua, and it's exactly what Tua should be. He's not this big blow-away Patrick Mahomes guy with his arm. He's not a Justin Herbert with his arm. He's not a Josh Allen. The list goes on with the quarterbacks gifted with talent beyond imagination. Tua needs to play like a Drew Brees or like an Alex Smith. He needs to manage the game to a bit, but he still is smart enough and he still is talented enough to go win his team the game. Tua's done a good job at that. Since he's come back, he's thrown 0 interceptions. He should have had a couple in the Steelers game, but none of them were caught. Tua's playing great football right now, and it's against teams they should beat up again, but he's still doing it at a very good level. Now let's talk about the Miami Dolphins running attack. They rank in the bottom of the league. There's no way around it. They have the 4th worst rushing yards per game. But they just added Jeff Wilson, who I'm very high on, and I'm someone who thinks he should have been the bell cow in San Francisco still. Miami's got to improve the running game, though, in order to make these big runs in the playoffs. Because I don't believe they're going to hold on to the division. And they're going to need to go to these cold places where you need to run the football to win games. The offense line's the concern there, though. They haven't had the best push up front. And they get outran by teams like a Pittsburgh, whose O-line not good. A Denver, whose O-line is not good. A Las Vegas Raiders, whose O-line is not good. Even the Colts, to an extent, even though they have Jonathan Taylor, they have a far worse line than the Dolphins should right now. The Miami Dolphins need to figure out how to run the ball better to win in January and February. Can they do it? Yes, but it's a concern for me in the future. Now let's talk about the fun stuff on the Dolphins offense. The receivers, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, combined for 10 touchdowns, combining for over 130 receptions, combining for over 2,000 yards this early in the year. They've been playing phenomenal. Mike McDaniels has been getting them open. He's been getting them the ball in space. He's been getting them open downfield. These are crucial for guys like this who have the burners but also have the shiftiness to make moves and big plays happen. I think the Dolphins' receiving core is their strongest strength in their team. I think that goes without saying. Tyreek Hill is one of the best receivers in the NFL, and Jalen Waddle slowly but surely climbing up that ranks, and pretty soon he's going to be at minimum top 20, most likely top 10 here. But why am I not that excited about this? Well, like I said previously, when we get into January and February and the field conditions get worse, it's not as easy to go deep routes. It's not easy to use speed to get it. They have to be able to power the ball. That's where the big thing comes in, that they have to use Mike Gesicki a lot more down the stretch, in my opinion. He's a very talented tight end, and he can get the ball and make good plays happen at the middle of the field, which will also help open up Hill and Waddle come the playoffs. Now we get to the point that I have major concerns about the Dolphins. Their defense. I don't trust them, and I think there are some numbers that prove it. They rank in the bottom half in yards per game. They rank in the bottom half in points per game. They struggle with a lot of things, and especially in the pass defense, averaging almost 240 yards per game given up. That might not seem a lot. That ranks in the bottom half of the league. In a passing league, that isn't good. The rush defense is middle of the road average, only giving up 116 yards per game. Almost 117, but it's going to round down to be nice. The Dolphins have concerns for me on defense. In a stacked AFC conference with Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, defense is a concern. Also, I'll throw Lamar Jackson in there because he did put up 38 points on them already. Luckily for them, they don't have a whole bunch of dynamic offenses down the stretch. They have Justin Herbert. They have Josh Allen. You can argue Aaron Rodgers, but with how the Packers have played this year, they're not in that conversation anymore. They have a chance to win games and get themselves in a high playoff seed and possibly have a home game in Miami. But if they slip up a bit, they have to go on the road, and that's possibly to Buffalo. So what I'm trying to say is this defense needs to step up. But they did add a huge addition this trade deadline in Bradley Chubb. Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips is the hope of this defense. They need to get to the quarterback. They need to apply pressure. If they apply some pressure, that will force incompletions. That will shorten the game. That will lead to more 3-and-outs. That will lead Miami to have more success running the football as defenses will be tired out quicker. We saw a lot of that in the Browns game. The defense got to him, and that's a big sign of improvement with having Bradley Chubb. I think this defense will get better, but I don't think they have enough time to get to the point they need to be a legitimate Super Bowl contender. Now, my overall thoughts on the Miami Dolphins, I kind of described them the best I could in the prior segments. I think they're a good team. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not saying they're average. The reason I say they're fool's gold is I see people saying this is a Super Bowl caliber team. Not yet, at least. Maybe next year with Mike McDaniel there, another year in Tua. But they have issues on defense, and Tua hasn't been as dynamic as everyone's going to say based off his stats. There have been games, like I said, against the Steelers where he did not look good. I do think the Miami Dolphins are a playoff team, though, and I do think they will have some success in January if the matchup is right for them. But I don't see them going far. I don't see them playing in Arizona. I don't see them getting past Josh Allen. I don't see them getting past Patrick Mahomes. That's the point I'm at with the Dolphins is I think they're good. I don't think they're elite. I'd like to thank everyone for watching this video or listening to it, however you consumed it. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button, please. If you want to debate me, you can find me on my Twitter account, Jordan_J_Parish, or just go down in the comment section and debate me. Next week, or the couple days from now, aka Monday, I'll be dropping an Arizona Cardinals video of why I think you have to get rid of Kyler, Kime, or Kingsbury. You want to come back? Come back Monday. That'll be dropping. And hey, be safe, everyone. Winter's coming, and it's not the easiest time to be around driving. So be safe and have a great day.